I dropped out of college. I'm a college dropout. If you're watching this video, you're probably thinking of dropping out of college too. When I was debating whether dropping out or not, I would go on YouTube and watch every single video of people sharing their experience of dropping out of college. And I think I needed a push to drop out. At that time, I thought to myself, I want to find more reasons to drop out, or I want to see if I should drop out, but deep down, I already knew that I wanted to drop out of college, and I would watch these videos for comfort. And because I've been there and I've dropped out, I'm sure this video is going to help people out there to make their decision or to find comfort in dropping out of college. That's why I'm making this video. And why did I want to drop out? It's not for a big reason. It's just that I would wake up every day, wake up every morning, get ready, take my car, go to the campus, go to lectures, and I would ask myself, what the hell am I doing here? I would just ask myself, what the hell am I doing here? So that's when I realized this is not for me. I don't know if it's college, I don't know if it's this degree, but what the hell am I doing here? So that's when I started having doubts about what I was doing in college. But I was in denial at first. I would tell myself, "Oh, it's okay. You just haven't figured out what you want to do with your life. That's why you're having doubts. It's like that for every college student. Most college students don't know what they want to do after college, so it's okay. It's okay. Just stay in college. You'll figure out what you want to do. The more time you spend in college, the sooner you'll figure it out." And that's what I thought. And it's funny because a while later, I watched a video of Steve Jobs, who is one of my biggest inspirations in life. It was a video of him talking about dropping out of college. So I stumbled upon this video and decided to watch it. And it's funny because he said something in this video. He said, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life and no idea how college was going to help me figure it out. So that was at the time I was in denial and thinking that college would help me figure it out. So I was starting to have more doubts, and then I was like, I would think of dropping out more and more. I think I would at that point I was thinking of dropping out every day. I would go to college feeling miserable. I was feeling depressed. I was feeling miserable. I saw no value and no meaning in what I was doing. I would think of what is going to happen after college, and it would be blank. It would be absolutely blank. But I didn't drop out just yet. Mostly because of my parents. I feared my parents. My parents are immigrants, so they didn't go to high school. They didn't go to college. So this is really important for them. And I was like, if I drop out, my parents are gonna kill me, or they're gonna disown me at best. So it was not a possibility. I would think of dropping out of college every day, but I knew I wasn't gonna drop out. It was just not a possibility. And also something that was very, very hard is that I couldn't study. I had gotten to a point where I just couldn't study. I couldn't study for more than 2 hours straight, and near the end I couldn't study for more than 10 minutes. It was physically impossible for me to sit at my desk and study for 10 minutes. I would try to find every productivity technique out there, whatever, tips for procrastination, but nothing would work on me. And at that point, I started to hate myself because, first of all, I hated college, but I couldn't even study. And then everyone was giving me tips. Oh, this worked for me, that worked for me, and I would try everything. I would try each advice that was given to me, and still I couldn't study for more than 10 minutes. So at that point I was really frustrated, and it made me hate going to college even more. But had no idea what I wanted to do. Like, outside my degree and college, I had no idea what I wanted to do. So what else was I supposed to do? So I was really miserable near the end, couldn't study, hated going to college, didn't find any meaning or value, but I stuck with it. There's something that happened that made me say this, and that made me finally take the decision to drop out. Because at that point, I was miserable. I hated college. College was depressing me. But as I said earlier, dropping out wasn't a possibility at all. One night, I went to a night lecture to study for a final. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go there because it's going to give me maybe a little more motivation to study. So I went there, and at the end of the lecture, the teacher, our professor, told us something that will probably stay with me my entire life. So I'm going to paraphrase what he said, but basically he said that students were coming to him, telling him that they felt lost, they didn't know what masters to apply to. So basically they're lost. And this professor told us that it's okay to be lost. It's normal, but it's also okay to realize that college isn't for you. And then I was like, oh, you grabbed my attention. So he told us that it's okay to realize that college or this degree isn't for us. It's okay to drop out and pursue something creative or artistic if that's really what we want to do. And that if whatever we decide to do, we owe it to ourselves to do our best and to give our everything to the thing we want to do, because there is nothing worse than waking up every day to go to a job we hate. And I went back home that night and I said, "F it." That was my sign to make the decision to drop out. I couldn't keep being miserable, going to college every day, knowing that I'm not meant to do that. So I said, you know what, I'm just dropping out. That's been in my head for a month. So I'm just gonna do it. And at that point, I didn't know what I wanted to do. But as Steve Jobs said, it's not college that is going to help me figure it out. So I just dropped out. So I called my parents and told them that I was dropping out of college. And they were not happy about it. They were furious. They were disappointed. And when I got back home, I think, we had like a fight about me dropping out. And I dropped out 2 years ago and they still don't understand my decision to drop out. So it's just to tell you that my parents don't approve me dropping out at all. But I decided to do it for myself, because you gotta realize that you are the one living your life. It's not your parents. Your parents are not living your life. Do you want to be 40 years old and have regrets because you listened to your parents, because you didn't do something out of fear that you'll disappoint your parents, or that your parents will be mad at you? And for a long time, the fear of what my parents would think and say was stronger than my desire to break free. And then something switched, and my desire to break free and to live my own life in my own terms got stronger than my fear of my parents. When I got back home, I didn't fear my parents anymore, because once you realize that you are the one living with yourself, living your life until the day you die, you are going to prioritize yourself and what you want to do. Even if it doesn't please your parents have lived their lives. Maybe they have regrets, maybe they don't, but you shouldn't have regrets. And if you listen to your parents tell you what you should be doing or not doing anything because you know it'll disappoint them, you're basically giving away your life to your parents. And that's just the saddest thing. That's just the saddest thing you could do for yourself. So if you're watching this video, you probably want to drop out of college, but something is preventing you from doing so. Maybe it's a fear of your parents. Maybe it's a fear of the unknown. Maybe it's a fear of the future. If you're watching this video, I believe that you've already made the decision. You know what is best for you. You know what you should be doing. But you just need someone to push you. You just need a little push to make the decision to go after your own goals and your own dreams. And I'm gonna be direct. To me, if you go to college and wonder what the hell am I doing here, then that's a reason valid enough to drop out. If you don't know what you're doing in college, then you have no business being there in the first place, you know? So to me, even if you don't have a plan, even if you don't know what you're gonna do afterwards, that's a reason valid enough to drop out. It's better to have a plan. If you can have a plan, that's better. But I'm just gonna share with you my experience. So for 2 years, I stayed in college, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. I swear that I searched and I searched and I searched. I had no idea what I wanted to do. And a few weeks after dropping out, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And a few weeks after dropping out, so many ideas started popping in my head. So sometimes when you're in a negative place or a place that you don't like, it may block your inspiration, your creativity, your artistic side. So that was the case for me. College was destroying and blocking my creativity and my inspiration. Once I dropped out of college, everything that I did in high school, I started doing it again. And yeah, sometimes you don't really need to have an idea of what you want to do. As I said, I dropped out of college, and that's when I started having ideas. So even if you don't have an idea of really what you want to do, you could tell your parents that you're taking a gap year to figure it out. I'm taking a gap year to figure out what I want to do with my life, because right now I'm in college and I'm stuck. I know that what I'm studying, the place I'm at, isn't gonna help me figure out what I really want to do. So I'm gonna take a gap year and figure it out. That's something you can do for yourself. You can tell your parents, I'm not sure what I want to do with my life. I'm not sure I like the degree I'm studying. So I'm gonna be taking a gap year to figure out if what I'm studying in college is really what I want to do, and to explore other alternatives. And if I find something and it requires a college degree, I'll consider going back to college. That's something you can tell your parents, you know? because I know that going to your parents and saying, "Oh, I'm dropping out of college," is hard. So the gap year perspective can really help. And one last thing is that you owe it to yourself to go after your goals and after your dreams, because regret is the worst thing, the worst feeling. You don't want to have regrets. You don't want to look back and and think to yourself, I should have listened to myself and not to my parents and not to what society said I should do. One last word: take a leap of faith, be bold, chase your dreams. You will be glad you did it. Thank you for watching.